All right, here's our next question, Jim. Sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Cody in Cypress, Texas. I'm smoking a ham on my grill, so I'm...
Is that some of the young people's slang these days? Is he using some kind of illegal drugs?
Maybe in Cypress, Texas.
He's smoking a ham on the grill. That'll get you 3 to 5 years down in Texas.
I'm smoking a ham on my grill, so I'm sitting in my garage drinking a beer and thinking about the Steiner brothers in early 1990s WCW, as one does. In late 1990, Scott ran the gauntlet. For those of you who don't remember, let me just jump in. That was, yes, you win a match on the Friday show, the Saturday show, and the Sunday show, and you win a monetary prize for doing so, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Scott ran the gauntlet against Beautiful Bobby, Ric Flair, and Arn Anderson, defeating the three in consecutive weeks on WCW Saturday Night. Oh, it says weeks here. I guess maybe I'm wrong.
No, actually, you were right. It was the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday show running the gauntlet.
He went on to take on Ric Flair to a time-limit draw in a championship match at Clash of the Champions 14. Rumors suggest he was offered the title by Flair and Dusty, but refused because he didn't want to break up the team with his brother. Later in 1991, after Flair left, Luger was champ and Rick Steiner got a title shot at Clash of the Champions 17, where the best spot of the match was Scott hitting a Frankensteiner on Mr. Hughes. Scott got another abbreviated singles run in late 1992 when Rick was injured, and even won the TV title for a few weeks before heading to the World Wrestling Federation with his brother. My question is, I know Jim wasn't in the promotion at the time, but to what extent did loyalty to his brother keep Scott Steiner from being a main event player and world champion in the early 90s WCW, especially in the Ric Flair-less world of 1991 to 1993? How much would a Scott Steiner singles run had helped the main event scene in WCW at the time? And in a vacuum, how soon after his debut should Scott Steiner have been pushed as a single main event star?
Good Lord, is this an essay question? I'll try to hit the high points. I don't know that Dusty or Flair were sitting down trying to twist Scott Steiner's arm to take the belt from Flair. I mean, we talked about recently on one of the shows the issue where Dusty kind of used Rick Steiner because he was a shooter as a way to get back at Flair right before Dusty got let go as Booker by Turner over the issues that they had. You got to remember, Scotty was still green in 1991 and 2. The reason why he ran the gauntlet, they had set that thing up and not a lot of people did it. But and the reason why it was with Arn, Flair, and Bobby was to make Scott look as good as possible because, and there's the best workers, because they wanted to push Scott, no doubt about it. They were pushing Scott. They were pushing Scott and Rick as a team. Rick had already had a nice run as a single, and they wanted to make sure that, everybody knew that Scotty was a force to be reckoned with. And there was conversation about, potentially putting the belt on him, but I don't think they were beating his door down to do it that early. Because as I said, when did he start? 88? Just working what was left of Bruiser's promotion in Michigan
it was before that. Was it by 88
or was it
he got
86?
to Memphis? Yeah.
No, it was 86-ish. Him and
the Great Wojo.
The Great Wojo, yeah. But anyway, and they didn't want to break the tape, but also at the time, I don't know if Scott was ready to be a single. He was a babyface then in WCW. I don't know if he was ready to be a singles world champion. I think the Steiners were more important as a team to the company overall than Scott would have been as the singles champion at that point in time, because Luger and Sting were still young and in great shape, and blah, blah, blah. I think Scotty, after he became Big Papa Pump, had more singles world champion personality and promo and gimmick and etc. But it may have been talked about, as he said, the guy asked the question, that was after I'd left. It may have been talked about, but I don't think it was like, everybody was, just begging him to do it, and he wouldn't leave Rick. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember hearing about that. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, I know there was long-standing heat between him and Flair. Wasn't there that he thought Flair kind of sandbagged him in that Clash of the Champions match?
Yeah, that's right. He did think that, but I honestly, I think Flair was just trying to have the same match he usually had at that point with everybody else, and Scotty wanted to do different shit. I don't know. It's one of those things, because I know that Flair was high on Scott when he was Booker, Flair was Booker, and I was working with Flair. Underneath Flair, as they say. He was high on both the Steiners, so I don't know what happened.
I just went back again because it was a big topic last week with the whole Observer Hall of Fame talk, the Steiner brothers, and someone asked me on Twitter the other day, what Steiner brothers matches would you recommend if I've never seen any? And right away, off the top of my head, I named a few. Them and the Nasty Boys at Halloween Havoc, them against Fujinami and Iizuka at Wrestle War 92, which is just brutal. And them against Gordy and I would say Hanson, Gordy and Steve Dr. Death Williams. There's some other good ones, Hase and Kensuke Sasaki. There's a bunch of good ones. Them against Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow. There's so many, and you go back and you watch them, there's nothing like this in wrestling today.
No, absolutely nothing.
They stand out even more today than they did then, because not only are they kicking ass, I said this, Mike Sempervive and I were talking about it on Twitter. When they came out, they got a big pop. The pops kept growing throughout the match. People would jump out of their seats for everything Scott did. Rick would hit the Steiner line. People would lose their minds. People were losing their minds for the Steiner brothers. There was nothing else like that. They're really like, imagine if Bruiser and Crusher just did high impact stuff nonstop. Like, 'cause they're ass kickers. And they literally just kick everyone's ass.
They were real, and at the same time, and they could work it, and they were safe, and they were strong enough to put you in the right place, but it was all stiff, and the people loved it. Nobody liked that today. But, once again, they're too busy doing their gymnastics and their dance routines to realize what the appeal was here. These guys looked legit and were legit, and then they did shit that people liked.
Everyone does the Hurricane Rana now. Everybody. You go back and you watch Scott Steiner do the Frankensteiner. Just send the guy to the rope, standing in the middle of the ring, and catch him with his legs. It's still like, wow, what an amazing... this is a big guy doing this. And no one stands out like that. Everyone does it. They do it off the top rope. And it's just a transition move. It's a kick out at 2. That's what it is. Scott Steiner would crush these guys. Go watch him giving Brian Knobbs the Frankensteiner at Halloween Havoc 1990. It's brutal.